All right, all of this. Okay, well, we've got about an hour, so I want to practice kind of going through what we want to go through and also staying to that container of time. So first of all, there's two things I wanted to ask you about. We kind of mentioned in our text messaging about how breath work can help like all these different numbers of things, right? I'm
Yes.
talking to you now. Okay. You're black, so you're black now, not white. Um, and so if you want to for your own study, I won't go through all of this now because what I want to do for this session is really go into teaching and practicing some specific daily breathwork practices, similar to what we've done before, but also some new ones. And then I also want to go into a full 30-minute session where we just do the practicing. So, but I wanted to let you know is as I've been doing more and more study, and I'll let you research this if you want to, just ask AI, honestly, type it in, it will give you a bunch of information. How breath work, what it does. So basically there's three types of breath work that we work with. One is just breath awareness and learning proper breathing. So, and that awareness is kind of what we've talked about before with the Vipassana. You're just being aware of the natural breathing, just becoming mindful of breathing and recognizing when you're holding your breath, when you're taking an intentional breath. We can go our whole lives without even being aware of our breath. So, breath awareness. And then the other part of that is teaching proper breathing. And proper breathing being so what's happened to most of us is that we've patterned our breathing habits after our caregivers or in busy environments or the people we spend a lot of time with. We're taught to, and we've talked about this before, we're taught to stand up straight and put our chest out and be confident and suck it in and all that stuff. And that induces almost like an anxious type state. And we're hardly ever breathing into the bottom part of our lungs. So we've got the three parts, and we've talked about this a little bit, the three-part breath, the bottom, middle, and top. And so if we're spending most of our time not breathing into that bottom part of our lungs and just the top, we're having a shallow, fast, rapid breathing, the same type of breathing that is mimicked when we're under extreme duress or stress or trauma, and it's a slight hyperventilation state. And so it's almost like we're hyperventilating, and then our body is having those after effects of long-term hyperventilating. And what we do when we learn to proper breathing, so this is one of the three steps, one of the three things that we work in with breath work that's all encompassing is relearning. It's not learning how to breathe, how to breathe, it's remembering how to breathe, how to naturally breathe, like we've talked about before. When you're watching a baby sleeping, their stomach is relaxed, their abdomen is coming out. And so in proper, good, natural, correct breathing, we are inhaling all the way down to the bottom lobes of our lungs. And in the bottom segment of our lungs is, I think it's pronounced alveoli. I'm gonna have to feel like I look at that up again. But it's the little air sacs, little air pockets, air sacs, or whatever it's called, that are in charge of the gas exchange, the transferring the oxygen to the carbon dioxide and the releasing and all of that. So if that is off balance, that is going to cause our bodies all sorts of emotional, physical, mental health disorders because we're not getting the correct oxygen, into our body. So when we do learn proper breathing, it can help us with like anti-inflammatory and alkalizing our bodies and all those things. So if you were to look up breath work and how it affects the gut and gut health, breath work and how it affects weight management and metabolism, breath work, how it affects emotional regulation, all these things, you'd see how that goes into play. So that's what I wanted to mention to you is that it's kind of like this magical pill, but it's not really because our change happens from the inside out. What we tend to do in life is we want things to change. And so first we go trying to change our environment, the people, places, and things around us. And that doesn't work. We all know that. And so then our next step is with our awareness, we try to change things from the outside, diet, exercise, counseling, therapy. These are all positive things and they're all necessary for change. But oh, my room was hot without the fan on. Shoot. Oh, well, we're going to get a little bit sweaty here, maybe. I got to figure that out. Um, but that's either a temporary change or it doesn't last, or we start and we stop and we continue to spin in the same problems we're trying to fix. And so if change really comes from the inside out, That's where the breath work helps because it starts to regulate our emotions. It starts to balance out the chemistry in our body, the alkalinity in our body. Like I said, the anti-inflammatory, all these things that can cause all sorts of health diseases, not just emotional and mental, which is the reason I got into breath work was for emotional regulation and for addictions. Like that's my passion. I've never really had a lot of physical health issues, but what I found, we've taught you the Sonobi breathing. Um, and even though I studied that, and what drew me to that was the fact that was studying that how it helps metabolism and weight loss. I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's something I've struggled with. And every time I really hone into that and I practice it, even just semi-intentionally, I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but my weight's regulating and I'm not trying, and the scale is going back down, and I'm not diet and exercising. I'm not having to resist cravings. It's just interesting. So I don't feel like I can make any promises on that. I can just go by like my experiences. I focus on changing this inner state thing. And just like they say, the outer stuff just seems to slowly kind of resolve. Things are not perfect, no, but so much better than they ever have been in so many ways. So anyway, I want to, that's the part I want to share about when you talked about like the, weight gain or weight loss and all that stuff is my job as a facilitator isn't to give anyone's answers or to say, here's your plan of action, here's what you should do. And no, because no one did that for me. I think that our body, our inner, our souls, our spirits, we already have the answers from that mass consciousness or whatever. And as we can tap into that, it all starts to work itself out, or we get guided to the right thing, or we resonate with the right thing, or we find someone who can help us. And I think everybody's path is kind of their own in that regard. So if you feel like it, go and just, start digging around and see what you find. There are some actual breathwork sessions on Insight Timer strictly for gut health. And it's the same breathing that we're doing. He's just taking his knowledge of the digestive system and how it is interacting with the breath and all of that regulation and using and formulating his lessons around that. But it's going to be the same breath that we're doing here that I do for emotional regulation or that someone might do to help them overcome an addiction or whatever. So I do that, whatever you want with that, but that's kind of interesting. Um, the other thing I wanted to tap on also was I talked to you yesterday slightly a little bit about what happened at work. And I guess one thing I wanted to mention is with breath work, like all your problems don't go away, but you start to recognize them sooner. So for example, what happened yesterday at work, I had a situation with a customer he said something mean and I wasn't expecting it. And he called me a bad word. And like there are times in my past that would have been like, I would have quit my job. I would have walked out. I would have gone, just all wouldn't have known how to handle it. And although I handled it very well and like no one would even know anything happened, I went to the bathroom within 4 minutes. I was regulated. I could have gone back to work, and I did, but they put me onto a different task to kind of let things settle down. And so I've learned how to really regulate myself in a period of time. But here's what happens. This is part of the fight or flight nervous system thing. So at our atomic nervous system, the fight or flight, when something traumatic happens, like a saber-toothed tiger is chasing us, like that's our human response to fight back, to fight or flight. It's a survival thing. It's a real thing. But when someone calls us a bad word, or if someone's not nice to us, or if our kids don't behave, that's not a lion chasing us, or a bill comes up, or we lose a job, or our car breaks down. That's not a lion chasing us. But our body goes into that same fight or flight response, and we have those same chemical reactions. But we aren't given the opportunity to let that to fully complete its cycle, to get into the rest and digest, to where we go, oh, okay, no, I'm safe and everything is well, and let the system settle down. So, what I ended up doing today is that happened yesterday, and I'm like, and it came to me, I realized this triggered more, it wasn't just this one event. Like, even though I have the emotional maturity at this point in my processing to be okay, like to not fly off the handle and not quit my job or not go running after the guy, like I was very calm and collected. And truly, like I wasn't holding in, I was truly okay. I completely felt okay. But tears were springing to my eyes. I couldn't stop them. And I felt something inside and I couldn't stop it. I couldn't will that away. I could manage it and regulate it, but it kept trying to like it takes your body, so actual takes actual time for your body chemicals to change. So you'll still be having a chemical reaction within your body, even though you know that you're fine, like all is well. But then the body, the chemicals just have to kind of dissipate. And so what I realized kind of came to my mind a couple more times. It it triggered the memory, the trauma memory of other times in my life when I was trying to do good or I was trying to do the right thing. I thought I did something nice and it was turned against me or it was misinterpreted and as somebody lashed out or something really bad happened. See, and I can feel it coming up now. And you can take those amygdala memory responses of previous trauma where things really weren't. It was almost like that saber-toothed tiger experience in your life. And so even though we have these daily stressors, like someone just calling us a bad word or cutting us off in traffic, and we were trying to do the right thing, and then it got something, it can trigger these trauma responses. And so our body actually, since I just went right into work, I didn't actually process it because I'm fine, but just went right back into my day. I recognize today, I'm like, I think my body needs to finish that cycle before I feel fully like, because if we don't finish that cycle, it can cause us to act out in different ways, or we're avoiding or going into coping mechanisms, and we're not even aware of it. So what I ended up doing today is going into a breath work journey. So we've got the breath awareness, that's one, where we learn proper breathing, we become aware of our breathing. The second one is we have our daily practices, which is what we've been learning and talking about, the pranayama, the box breathing, the diaphragm breathing, learning that proper breathing and then actually practicing it several times a day or throughout the day. And those two things alone are life changing. And that's really, you will do great if that's all you do, if you never go into an actual breathwork journey. But one of the other options with breathwork is the breathwork journeys, which is where you actually, it's intentional, it's short term, it's not the way to breathe all the time, but you kind of induce a state of an activated state. And this is why someone who's had a lot of trauma might want to be more careful and be cautious with this. And this is partly why we have jumped right into this. And maybe you and I won't. I don't know. I'm only now a little bit feeling like, okay, maybe I'll try this because I feel like my trauma in my past, I didn't want to go there. That didn't sound like it'd be useful at all. And so anyway, that's the third part that we can start to go into gently when you want to, is you put your body into a almost a hyperventilated state, and you intentionally do activate some of this stuff, and it causes an emotional release, and your body clams up, and there's all these effects that feel negative, but they're actually just part of the trauma response processing through, and then your body regulating after that and completing that cycle. So you can kind of do these sessions. People will do maybe once a week or once a month or now and then, and it can kind of rewire and process through old past traumas that maybe you have, that really maybe aren't really a big deal anymore, except for subconsciously it might creep up now and then, or it might cause you to have a reaction when someone at your work isn't nice to you and you don't know it's realized because, oh, it was kind of attached to some maybe previous trauma or whatever. So anyway, those are the three basic types of breath work. And so what you and I have worked on mostly so far is just educating about the breath, why it's important, how we tend to hold our breath, and to start becoming aware of your breathing, and how just learning how to slow down your breath can help to regulate your emotions, regulate your system. And then even if you never go into a breathwork journey, just simply learning these breathing exercises can help you activate your parasympathetic nervous system, which can still, like up until just recently, that's all I did. I started meditating and practicing pranayama in like 2018 and noticed some significant changes. And then I kind of dropped the breathing part of it and focused only on the meditation part. Still great. I loved it. Um, but I felt there was something missing and it wasn't as effective. So as I started bringing back in more of the pranayama again and the intentional breathing exercises, sure enough, I find it easier to regulate, or things just don't. In fact, I told a coworker yesterday, she said something about yoga or meditation. And I said, and basically I can't be bothered. Well, I can be bothered, but what am I going to do about it? Like you just kind of have an ease of like, about things that used to previously maybe really disturb you. So, okay. So that was, it's hard to have this conversation without looking at your face. Are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else? Is there anything you wanted to add into that or say about any of that?
No, I think it's pretty spot on. I mean, it's I haven't had to do breathwork journeys to recognize, oh, there's some unfinished business, and due to the trauma I've experienced, I am leery about, it's like you
Mm-hmm.
said, it's just, yeah. So I did I tried to complete a full cycle with something that came up. Um, and I kind of asked, like, okay, what is it? What trauma is causing this for my body to be reacting to? And then was able to do some meditation, but I did my belly
Mm-hmm.
breathing. And
Yep.
so I was able to kind of work through it, did the sexual abuse healing, but then also did the breathing with it, um, from a kind of because I need more like nurturing.
Nurturing.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. And I've talked with Gianna even about this, about how I don't know that I'll actually ever even teach the journeys, but for myself, I may want to start trying them more. So, and I think and the more I'm researching that is it's not necessarily necessary, but it is another part of it. If when is ever something that you want to tap into, but I wouldn't say it's necessary. And it's not what we're doing tonight. I just thought it was interesting that I think that might have been useful, maybe in the bigger picture. But I think it's important to do a certain, for some people and for many people actually, a certain level of regulation and healing first before you just dive into that. So actually, what I want to do today is so what we've been practicing so far is the deep diaphragmatic breathing and the three-part breathing. And that's what I talked about as far as by doing that. That's a big step. We are teaching our body to use the oxygen we're taking in and having that correct gas exchange. And so then the next step now when we practice that on our own, like in these sessions or on your own 5 minutes a day, 5 minutes 3 times a day, anytime you can think about it times a day, what you start finding is you can then go, oh, I can do this while I'm brushing my hair. I can do this while I'm stretching and doing yoga at night. I can be focusing on softening my belly and bringing the air all the way down to my lungs while I'm in conversation. If someone says something that triggers a response in me, I can take a breath first and feel that release. I can become so anything become can become like our practice. And I would say most of my practice now is just in daily life and being aware and mindful of that, which is why I think those two are so important. Learning how to breathe. And then we do just enough of teaching the different techniques. Like I'm going to teach you a few more tonight that you can then play around with at home. You can try. My favorite is the one I want to get to for sure tonight is the alternate nostril breathing. That is by far is the one I did most regularly when I was first starting this in my ashram in 2018, 2020. And it is the one that I continue to find most useful, but I haven't taught it to you yet. And you've probably seen it before. But as we practice, whether it's the coherent breathing, just trying to slow down our breath, 5 counts in, 5 counts out, or whether it's the box breathing, inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4. And we can take our box breathing and we can gradually elongate it. We can gradually practice taking slower breaths. So maybe our box breathing becomes inhale for 5, hold for 5, exhale for 5, hold for 5. You can start playing around with the way different things make you feel. Inhale for 4, hold for 7, exhale for 8. Inhale for 4, hold for 7, exhale for 8. There's so many different dozens, if not maybe over 100, I don't know. So many different variations. And it's not that you need to know them all to have the benefit. You do one, you have a benefit. What we're doing right now, we have a benefit. But what I like about teaching the different ones, and I might as well because that's what I'm doing, is then you can Mod Podge together whatever works for you. Just like I've Mod Podged what I like, which is totally different than what Jana does. She really seems to focus a lot on like the journeys, and that's great. But I really just love the coming to center, the varieties of the pranayama and the regulating my nervous system through just gentle breathing. That's what feels best and has been so useful for me. So a couple of things that might be useful if you want to ever go grab one of these. I actually first practiced this. It was at a rehab. And this way, the person leading, instead of going inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold 2, 3, you can just follow this. So for just this first little minute, let's just practice. So you can be laying down. In fact, laying down is great if you want to put a hand on your lower abdomen. So you're sensing that that lower abdomen is getting relaxed. And we will just try to inhale the bottom of our lungs first, and then the ribs. And then if you want to go on to the third part, all the way up, you can, but that's optional because again, that bigger breath can be activating. And sometimes I do only just the two parts, the lower, the middle, and back. So whatever feels good to you. But what we do want to do is at least make sure we're getting the air down to the bottom of our lungs, even if you don't carry out to the middle and then the upper lungs. So let's take a few breaths just to get centered in that. And then we'll go to the Sanabi because you can use that, just your basic diaphragmatic breathing with your Sanabi breathing. And you can use your basic diaphragmatic breathing with your alternate nostril breathing. You can use your basic diaphragmatic breathing with your box breathing. So with all of them. So it continues to be our foundation. So let's just go ahead and let's inhale for the count of 5 and then just let it go out your mouth at any pace. So I'm going to use this to kind of help us gauge us. Can you hear me still okay?
Yes, I just keep muting you.
That's what I was thinking. Okay. Okay. As long as you can hear me. All right. So inhale, exhale, inhale to the bottom of your lungs, and exhale. Inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Inhale and exhale. Now go ahead and just breathe naturally, however that comes out for you. Whether you want to inhale through your nose and exhale through your nose, or inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth, that will be up to you. And they both will have kind of different effects. You might find that breathing out through your mouth has a more relaxing effect. When I feel myself get the chemical surge up, like what happened at work yesterday, I have to go more, I have to go beyond just my inhale, exhale. I try to keep my mind on, my mindful my breathing throughout all my activities. But when something happens and I need to more intentionally like down regulate myself, excuse myself to the bathroom, I might intentionally go, inhale, hold, 2, 3, and I might shake my hands or do some tapping. And that's something else you can look up. I won't go over that today, maybe another time. It's a EFP, I think it's called. I have to look that up too. It's a tapping technique and, or some shaking and somatic, and then continue to intentionally breathe. Inhale, hold, and I'll just ultra focus on my inhale and my exhale. And if the mind, if my thoughts go to whatever happened, I go right back to my breath and give my body, my system, a chance to return to that sense of safety with nothing having to change. Just return to that sense of safety, and I can go on and about my day. Now, ideally, the goal is to have that happen less and less and less. But life is life. And every now and then, something, whether maybe you didn't get much sleep or someone is completely extra frustrating or something extra stressful comes, that's part of being human. That's going to happen again. And so having these skills to, as we practice them in a lesson, in a container like what we do now, and as we practice it daily, then what will happen is when we will feel something change inside of our body, we'll go, oh, before we have a chance to react blindly at something, we go, you feel it. And that's the cue to go breathe, to go regulate yourself. Where maybe before weren't able to pick up on the actual chemical changes happening inside your body. And so it's just easy to fly to do this, or go to a drink or a drug or yell or run away or hide or quit or walk out or storm out or slam the door, whatever these things are that we do. when we don't know how to regulate our emotions. By doing the daily practices, it, it's it's so simple. It's almost like, is this really useful? But that's why it's so useful. But we get in the habit of it by doing these daily practices so that when we do need them, it's just our go-to. It's like, oh, I did some breathing. Okay, I'm okay. I'm okay now. So let's do a couple more of these. And then we're going to grab a couple rounds of, well, let's not do Sonobi tonight. You're laying down. I'm just going to take you to the alternate nostril and then to the music session for sake of time. There's so many things we could do. But before we get started with that, go ahead and just again inhale through your nose all the way down, following this ball as kind of a guide. Inhale and exhale through your mouth. Now, this time we're going to inhale for the count of 4, hold for the count of 7, and exhale for the count of 8. This is the 4-7-8 practice. You can practice this anytime when we're done here as well. So inhale for 4, hold, exhale for 8. Inhale for 4, hold, exhale for 8. Inhale for 4, hold, exhale for 8. So that one is very good when you need to feel better fast, when you are consciously needing to change your state. We do want to process through our emotions. We're not talking about stuffing or hiding our emotions, but sometimes we need to just manage them, get through the moment without doing or saying anything that we'll regret or that could be harmful. And our breathing can do that for us. And then we can go process it at home later that night in our bedroom. We can cry, we can shake, we can do a journey, we can run, we can do whatever we need to do to finish that cycle. But sometimes we need to just get through that time. And the 4-7-8 breathing is a great exercise for that. This next one, I'll go ahead and show you, and then we'll practice it with our music today. Is pranayama. It's my favorite one. There's a few different ways to do this, but my favorite is alternate nostril. So if you're able to see me right now, it's okay if you stay blank. Just if you have any questions, speak up. But what we're doing is we are going to take our hands like this and just take a finger right here in the center of your forehead. You're going to block off the left, the right, doesn't matter, just pick one. I'm blocking up the right nostril first, then I'm going to inhale. I'm going to switch and block off the left nostril and unblock the right nostril and exhale. And then inhale through the right, exhale through the left, inhale through the left, block off the left, open the right, exhale through the right, inhale through the right. So I'm going to pause. Does that make sense? Is that clear what that process is?
Yes.
Okay. So you can put a finger here or however works for you. The main thing is that we are alternating nostrils, just like it sounds. So you exhale through the one and inhale, switch nostrils, exhale, inhale, switch nostrils, however that works for you. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to share my screen and turn on that music we just heard. And I want you to do one of two things. Go ahead and just practice. I'll help guide you through. I might change it part way, but let's go ahead and start with just listening to that track while we practice alternate nostril. I might take a little second to settle into it, and that's okay. Again, keeping that your diaphragmatic breath while you do it. Just making sure that you're breathing naturally and comfortably, and bringing the air to the bottom of your lungs. And then at some point, we might go ahead and change that to just a basic breathing. Let me go ahead and see if I can start this now and see if you can hear it. Okay. There is some speaking at the beginning. Do you hear the music right now?
Yes.
Okay, so go ahead and just listen. And as you get settled in, and if you can see me still, I'll be able to guide you with just my visual, but I won't be talking too much. We're going to listen to her voice for now. We're going to
Okay, I
inhale through
can't
the
see
left.
you.
Oh,
Welcome
now can you see me?
to
Yes.
Synctuition. We are now going to work together to increase your intuition. For the next 20 minutes, try to avoid any distractions and enjoy the moment to the fullest. Take a comfortable position. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath and relax. Leave whatever worries you have behind you. Relax. Relax. Breathe. Breathe. Relax. Relax. Breathe. Breathe. Notice how you become more relaxed with every breath. Keep your eyes closed and relax your whole body. Take another deep breath in and slowly breathe out. Let your mind swallow every thought that arises and let your intuition guide you through this journey.
So with our pranayama, alternate nostril, inhale through one nostril, exhale through the opposite nostril, inhale through that nostril, exhale through the opposite nostril, and then continue to repeat. Just at your own pace, low diaphragm breathing. Let your body soften. Let your diaphragm soften. Inhale through one nostril, plug that nostril, and exhale through the opposite nostril. Inhale through that same opposite nostril. Plug that nostril and exhale through the opposite nostril. This is balancing the right and left brain hemispheres and it aids in emotional regulation. It resets your parasympathetic nervous system and brings your body into a state of rest and repair.
inhale and exhale at your own pace using the alternate nostril technique. Inhaling all the way down to the bottom of your lungs. It doesn't have to be a deep breath, but if you feel the urge to take a deep breath, go ahead and allow yourself that deep breath. Whatever feels comfortable. Activating your rest and digest, the parasympathetic, where you're safe and where healing can take place. There is nowhere you have to go and nothing you have to do. Just be here now and breathe. Keep breathing. And you can continue breathing in the alternate nostril method of breathing. Or if you'd like to rest your hands and go into a deeper state of rest without focusing on your breathing so much, you can simply relax into the 3-part breath again as we've done before. lower belly, ribs, chest. Exhale. Lower belly, ribs, chest. Exhale. At your own pace, making sure the air goes all the way down to the bottom of your lungs. And if it is more comfortable to stay at the 2-part breath, just your lower belly and your ribs, that is okay as well. And if you feel the urge to take the breath all the way up into your chest for a nice deep release, you can do that. Using the same breathing, you can either continue with the alternate nostril or breathe out of both nostrils, whichever is most comfortable to you right now. And now keeping our focus on the diaphragmatic breathing. In just a moment, we're going to switch over to box breathing, which you may already be familiar with. You'll inhale for the count of 4, softly hold for the count of 4, exhale for the count of 4, hold for the count of 4. And with my guidance, go ahead and do that now. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Continue and slightly slow the breath. And continue this at your own pace. Inhale for the count of 4. Hold for the count of 4. Exhale for the count of 4. Hold for the count of 4. The last several minutes, I want you just to let go of any controlled breathing. So you are not alternating your nostrils, you are not counting, you are not doing box breathing. Those are all skills you can draw on at any time if you need extra help in
guiding your breathing during stressful times or just simply to initiate a deep relaxation. The goal is to find a new baseline, a homeostasis of natural breathing that comes easily in your daily life, where you're not counting, you're not holding a nostril, but that you carry with you a deep sense of tranquility and ease as your natural daily breathing becomes more and more in a rest and reset way and type of breathing, just because that's how your body now knows how to breathe. So for the next few minutes, just bring all of your awareness to your natural respiration. And notice how that feels inside your body. If thoughts arise, such as, am I doing this right? Or this is boring? Or is this doing any good? Or any thoughts that may be arising as far as your day, just notice that there are thoughts arising and bring your attention back to your respiration. Your natural respiration, the inhale and the exhale. If it's shallow, let it be shallow. And if it is deep, just notice, oh, this is deep. Notice the air coming in your nostrils and pay attention to the sensations at the tip of your nose and just below your nostrils and above your upper lip. Just notice your natural breath, how it feels right now in this moment. See if you can notice how your body feels. If there is any tightness in any area, just notice it without trying to change it. And notice when it starts to change on its own, as all things will change eventually on their own. We learn different breathing techniques not to control our breath, but to return to homeostasis, so that our natural breath becomes more easy. And we carry with us at all times a deeper sense of calm. All change starts from the inside. All of our answers come from the inside. We are already naturally whole. We are simply returning to wholeness.
Feel the air come in through your nostrils. A slow, even pace, and then out through your nostrils. Just slow, even pace. And see if you can let your body relax and settle in, even just 1% more. Let everything simply soften. All is well. Everything is just as it should be. Everything is just as it should be. Inhale to the bottom of your lungs. And thank you for sitting with me. Thank you for breathing with me. Keep breathing and be still. This is the art of alchemy.